High Definition News for Friday, July 29th, 2016. I'm Jeff Kaufman.
Tonight, we've reached a milestone in our nation's march toward a more perfect union. The first time that a major party has nominated a woman for president.
Hillary Clinton makes history as the Democratic nominee, but she has to get past Republican Donald Trump to make history as the first female president. As she addressed the delegates on the final night of the Democratic convention in Philadelphia, she wasted no time in attacking Trump.
Donald Trump says, and this is a quote, "I know more about ISIS than the generals do." No, Donald, you don't.
Clinton and Trump are running about even in polls that measure how much people dislike them. They're both over 50%. Voters also say they don't trust her. So last night's speech was a chance for Clinton to try to reintroduce herself and to acknowledge that her campaign skills don't match those of either her husband or President Obama.
The truth is, through all these years of public service, the service part has always come easier to me than the public part. I get it that some people just don't know what to make of me.
She reviewed her resume, law school, where she met her future husband, the future president, service with the Children's Defense Fund, private law practice, First Lady of Arkansas, then of the U.S., then her own political career, U.S. Senator from New York, Secretary of State. A theme of her campaign for president has been her decades of public service, something Trump does not have. Last night, she charged it's not just experience he lacks.
You really think Donald Trump has the temperament to be commander-in-chief? Donald Trump can't even handle the rough and tumble of a presidential campaign. He loses his cool at the slightest provocation. When he's gotten a tough question from a reporter, when he's challenged in a debate, when he sees a protester at a rally. Imagine, if you dare, imagine him in the Oval Office facing a real crisis. A man you can bait with a tweet is not a man we can trust with nuclear weapons.
It was a long speech, 56 minutes, with a long list of promises designed to appeal not only to her supporters, but to Bernie Sanders voters, independents, and even Republicans looking for an alternative to their party's nominee.
If we're serious about keeping our country safe, we also can't afford to have a president who's in the pocket of the gun lobby. I'm not here to repeal the Second Amendment. I'm not here to take away your guns. I just don't want you to be shot by someone who shouldn't have a gun in the first place.
Clinton talked about creating jobs, taxing the wealthy, comprehensive immigration reform, making college tuition free and reducing student loan debt, raising the minimum wage, preserving Obamacare, maintaining the right to abortion, bringing pay for women to parity with men. It's a lot to do, she conceded, but she said Americans can do anything when they work together.
Don't believe anyone who says, "I alone can fix it." Really? I alone can fix it? He's forgetting every last one of us. Americans don't say, "I alone can fix it." We say, "We'll fix it together." It comes down to what Donald Trump doesn't get. America is great because America is good. So, enough with the bigotry and the bombast. Donald Trump's not offering real change. He's offering empty promises. And what are we offering? A bold agenda to improve the lives of people across our country, to keep you safe, to get you good jobs, to give your kids the opportunities they deserve. The choice is clear, my friends.
Hillary Clinton was the headliner last night, but for some inside the hall and around the country, the most emotional moment of the convention came a couple of hours before she took the stage.
Please welcome the nation's first cultural ambassador, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Jordan, and I'm here with Hillary.
Some of the delegates seemed confused until Jabbar explained.
I said that because I know that Donald Trump couldn't tell the difference.
The delegates roared, but now that they were in on the joke, Jabbar, who converted to Islam in the 1960s when he was a student at UCLA, turned serious.
And I'm here to tell you about Captain Humayun Khan, who is one of 14 American Muslim soldiers who have died in combat serving the United States since 9/11.
Hillary Clinton had mentioned Captain Khan in Minneapolis in December, just after Trump's call for a ban on all Muslims entering the U.S.
If you want to see the best of America, you need look no further than Army Captain Humayun Khan. He was born in the United Arab Emirates. He moved to Maryland as a small child. He later graduated from the University of Virginia before enlisting in the United States Army.
In June of 2004, Captain Khan's unit was on guard duty at their base near Bakuba. A suspicious-looking car approached the gate and stopped. Khan told his men to stay back, and he walked closer to investigate. That's when the car blew up. Captain Khan was 27. His men survived.
Tonight we are honored to stand here as parents of Captain Humayun Khan and as patriotic American Muslims.
12 years after Captain Khan was killed in Iraq, his father, Kaiser Khan, spoke about him to the delegates in Philadelphia and indirectly to Donald Trump.
He sacrificed his life to save the lives of his fellow soldiers. If it was up to Donald Trump, he never would have been in America. He vows to build walls and ban us from this country. Donald Trump, let me ask you, have you even read the United States Constitution? I will gladly lend you my copy. Have you ever been to Arlington Cemetery? Go look at the graves of brave patriots who died defending United States of America. You will see all faiths, genders, and ethnicities. You have sacrificed nothing and no one. We cannot solve our problems by building walls.
No response from Trump or his campaign, but a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans, took to Twitter to praise Kaiser Khan. Talking smack about the Republican nominee is a surefire way to get some face time at any Democratic convention.
Los Angeles is a city with such a huge, thriving Latino population that we expect Donald Trump to build a wall around us.
Outside of Southern California, very few Americans know anything about Eric Garcetti, but a Democratic mayor of the nation's second biggest city is automatically a player in Democratic Party politics. So LA's mayor got a chance yesterday to introduce himself to the delegates, and more important for him, a national audience on TV and online.
I'm just your average Mexican-American Jewish Italian.
Garcetti bragged about raising LA's minimum wage and beginning to repair the city's infrastructure, and for good measure, he took another swing at Trump.
When we mock the immigrants and disabled, when we mock Indians and women, we mock our own history.
With the Democratic convention gavelled to a close in Philadelphia last night, both presidential tickets lit out for the territories on road trips today to sell their ideas to the voters. The polls open 101 days from today. Back home in Southern California, Long Beach police decided better safe than sorry this morning around 9 when somebody found a 1-gallon gas can with wire wrapped around its handle near the corner of First and Cherry near Bixby Park. Police evacuated the park and closed some streets in the neighborhood. The gas can with wire around its handle turned out to be just a gas can with wire wrapped around its handle, and the all clear came a little after 11. So far, 1,600 cases of Zika infection in the U.S., but they've all been in people who traveled overseas to Zika-infested areas or had sex with someone who did. Today, the Centers for Disease Control announced 4 new cases of Zika infection, the first as a result of bites from infected mosquitoes in the U.S. They're in Florida. A federal appeals court has thrown out North Carolina's voter ID law, saying not only does the law discriminate against African Americans, but discrimination was the reason the Republican-controlled legislature passed the law in the first place. In other words, disenfranchising black voters was not a bug, but a feature. The court said the law was designed, in the court's words, with surgical precision to lower the number of black votes in North Carolina. Republicans say they will appeal, but they won't get a ruling before Election Day in November. He already has a stamp with his picture on it, and Harvey Milk's name is the title of 2 Oscar-winning movies, the feature starring Sean Penn and a documentary. Also, an opera, several books, and a foundation run by his nephew. The Navy announced today that it is naming a ship after the LGBT civil rights icon who was assassinated by a fellow San Francisco city supervisor in 1978. The USS Harvey Milk will be the second of 6 new fleet oilers the Navy is building. The first was named after civil rights hero, now Congressman John Lewis. When Lieutenant Harvey Milk served 4 years in the Navy in the 1950s, he and other gay sailors had to keep their sexual orientation secret or be dishonorably discharged. You don't have to join the Navy to get a Navy haircut this weekend. Just climb aboard the battleship Iowa in San Pedro. Climb is the right word. You can walk, stroll, or march onto the Iowa itself, but the only way to get to the barbershop on the 3rd deck is up a ladder. Barbers from Long Beach's A Barbershop will do the cutting. It'll cost you $20, cash only, not including tip, and it's only happening Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can make an appointment at bit.ly/Iowa Haircut July 16. bit.ly/Iowa Haircut July 16. July 16 in that web address is when the sign-up form was uploaded. The haircuts happen 2 days from today, Sunday, July 31st. Finally, if you have not already upgraded your PC to Windows 10, the clock is ticking. You have less than 12 hours to do it for free. After that, Windows 10 will cost you $120. Microsoft says to get Windows 10 free, you have to finish the upgrade on your device by a minute before midnight. The company actually means a minute before midnight Hawaii time, because that's the latest time zone in the US. So that means here in the Pacific time zone, you actually have until a minute before 3 a.m. tomorrow to get it done. While you're upgrading your devices, High Definition News will be upgrading itself, finishing some new features that'll come your way this fall, and tidying up the High Definition newsroom, which frankly is looking a little low definition after this presidential primary. We should say this more often. Thank you for choosing High Definition News. Meet you back here in 3 weeks on Monday, August 22nd. Now you know what we know. I'm Jeff Kaufman, High Definition News.